is Ryan Poles is getting in the way of the development of his quarterback because he has not put the right people in place to at least mask some of those things that you will be going because he's made terrible draft choices. And I don't want to say that Luther Burden is trash because he's not. I don't want to say Coastal Leveland is trash because he's not. But I don't want to say that Ozzie Trapillo is trash. I don't want to say that Shamar Turner is trash. And those two didn't even dress.
Oh, and don't forget high draft pick Kyron Amagaji. He didn't dress either, which is a perfect segue into Ryan Poles. Which this is what made me the angriest yesterday. And we talked about this on the podcast when we did Second Night at the House, which is up on all podcast feeds right now. If you want to check it out, it's a shorter version, it's about 30 minutes. There's no audio. We recorded this in the Ford Field Media Room. So yeah, we weren't standing out there for an hour. So yeah, check it out. But the big problem here, we can sit up here, we can talk about Ben, and we can talk about Caleb. It's Ryan Poles, man. And this is something that everybody on this show, everybody on Seven Night in the House, I think everybody with a brain, we've always said because I feel like we were burned by Ryan Pace. And just honestly, bro, the Bears ain't had a great general manager in God knows how long. Jerry Angelo was not good. Jerry Angelo didn't know what an offensive player was that hit him upside his head. But he is a terrible talent evaluator. Like he has these last 3 years, he's had all these high draft picks. What are these high draft picks doing? Like I can't name one or even two players that I could say without a shadow of a doubt, he's a game changer. I can't name one. I don't know about you. I'm talking about people who left the team as well. Yesterday, last week, everybody was on Justin Fields' dick for the performance he had. Yesterday, he didn't score a touchdown. He left with a concussion. How many times we seen that as Bears fans? So you could put his development blame on Ryan Poles' doorstep. It's his fault. You know what I'm saying? And then you can look at the other players. Darnell Wright, he just looks like an average right guard. He just looks average. Right tackle. He's an average guy. He's not trash, but he's not had a great start to the season. And you hear about his work ethic, which the offensive line coach called out in the regular in the seat for off season, and everybody their alarms went off. And now I'm thinking about that quote even more. He looks bad. Jonah Jackson. I really think these GM know that. Oh, we can finesse Ryan Poles. Jonah Jackson, sound investment. Looks like he's been bad. Like both him and Darnell Wright have been so bad that I haven't even realizing that Braxton Jones has just been mid. Like he ain't been trash. He just been mid, and that's how bad it is. Like you said, Orlando, he likes to draft based on trade. Well, Ryan Poles likes to draft dudes who had the same story he got. Don't do that's why you're a general manager now because you couldn't make it. Stop drafting dudes who have the little engine that could draft studs. I don't care if Jalen Carter spit on everybody in at Hallis Hall. Like he's an elite talent. You draft that. Your defensive ends, your defensive tackles, they're supposed to have a little crazy in them. Like, and they've tried to put up this family values crap. And it's not just Ryan Poles, it's the same organization. There's an organization that didn't want profanity on their hard knocks. How dare we see these grown men and their athletes cuss? Like it's annoying. And what's even more annoying is they gave this man a contract extension. Now I said on this show that it made sense. I didn't say that I liked it. What I said by it made sense, it lined up with the coach. But when you see the holes on this team is so talent deficient. Man, you talk about the lack of depth in the secondary. He don't know how to draft there either. You know what I'm saying? That your best player on this entire defense is a player that you did not draft. Jalen Johnson is not a Ryan Poles draft pick. That is one of the final Ryan Pace draft picks. It's kind of like the Arturas Carnosovas and the John Paxson thing. John Paxson was bad, but Arturas makes him look great. Ryan Pace, for all of his faults, and let's be real, he had a lot. I am not here to Monday morning quarterback Ryan Pace's career as a Bears general manager. But during that bad time, he also gave this team 2 playoff appearances. He gave this team a division title. He drafted 7 Pro Bowlers and 2 All-Pros. What has Ryan Poles done that's even been close to that? Nothing. And so you give this dude more power. And now you're stuck in, as I like to call it, the cycle of shit. Because let's just say if and when they do let go of Ryan Poles, maybe the season's over and it's not what they thought it was going to be. The talent deficit is really sticking out. And Kevin Warren says, I don't care if he signed an extension. I ain't hired this dude. I'm firing him. Now we go through the same crap we went to because now you got a general manager, a new general manager who comes in with a new philosophy who's going to be looking at Ben. The clock's going to be on Ben because I didn't hire Ben. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. When you got rid of Justin, you should have wiped your hands like Pontius Pilate and started over. Okay? That's what you should have did. But since you want to skip steps, which is what we said on the pod yesterday, he tried to skip rebuild steps. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm going long. I'm gonna let Bane talk in a minute, but he tried to skip rebuild steps. You have to fully embrace a rebuild in any league. And in the NFL, it's a quicker process than it is Major League Baseball or NBA. You taking at least 5 years to do that in both of those leagues. And the NFL is much quicker. And you can't buy a car with no engine. You can't build a house with no foundation. And that is exactly what he's doing. It doesn't really matter if Caleb is doing this, then a third, if the foundation around him is bad. You've had 3 top 10 draft picks in the last 3 years. I'm not last 3 years, but in the last 7 years. Mr. Trubisky was drafted number 2. Justin Fields drafted number 10, and Caleb Williams drafted number 1. And you screwed 2 of them. As bad as Mitch was, as much as I kill Mitch, the biggest they set Mitch up for failure the day that they told John Fox, we're not going to get the quarterback you want, or Jamal Adams, which was rumor he wanted Jamal Adams. We're going to get this kid. So you already pairing him with a coach who doesn't believe.
That's who I wanted. I wanted Jamal Adams.
And then Matt Nagy comes in. Matt Nagy was a way worse play caller than Mitch was a quarterback, and I stand on that. And now you're doing the same thing with Caleb Williams. And now you're going to hope that Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson's mind and talent is able to rise above their bad general manager. He's a bad general manager, and that leads to even the ownership with the owner. And George McCaskey is a sweet guy, but he does not know what he's doing. I don't know what Kevin Warren does, honestly, to be either. He's been here for 2 years. Where's the stadium? Where's the stadium? I don't want to hear about these updates. We're going to do this and third. Where's the stadium? Shovel's supposed to be in the ground this year. It's not going to happen. So I know I'm ranting, but yeah, like you said, Joseph, we're in endless loop veil. Bane, what's your thoughts on Ryan Poles, this whole situation, and I guess like the cancer that's in this team?
Oh man, I famously called him Leo Pose. Back when the whole Roquan Smith thing that happened, naming him after Leo Cohen, who once oversaw Def Jam, and a lot of people would say, "Damn near put Def Jam into the ground." That ain't changing. Look, the man track record is poor, and this is gonna sound bad, or what I was gonna say originally was gonna sound bad. But because of where we are at in the world, I won't use certain 3-letter terms that people throw out about. But what I will say is that's what he's acting like right now. This man has a record that is so piss poor that literally if he was on any other team, not only would he have not gotten an extension, he would have been fired. When we have situations where the thought, forget it happening, the thought that people you picked in the first 3 rounds of the draft will be healthy scratches will get you in some type of shit. Ryan Poles should have not gotten an extension. This should have been the epitome of a prove it year, or better yet, they've done Ryan Poles like you did Caleb Williams and like you did Justin Fields. You kept somebody who should have been gone, and you did not start fresh. I don't put all of this season's draft picks on him because Ben Johnson was in that room with him. Ben Johnson wanted Colston. They saw Luther Burden there. They drafted Luther Burden. So those two who barely saw the field, who barely did anything, that is the combination of Poles and Johnson to where I don't mind Colston Loveland. I think he's going to be a pretty good tight end in this league. But you needed line help, offensive line nor defensively. Same thing with Luther Burden. I think Luther Burden is going to be DJ Moore's replacement. Hot take. I don't think DJ Moore is going to be on this team next season.
I don't. I'm starting to think the same way.
I think this is good. I think when they drafted Luther Burden, that was their out. And I think contract wise, if you're going to get out, he already had a team friendly contract. But at the end of this season, you will get some immediate cap relief if DJ Moore is off this team. So your wide receiver position is Rome and Luther. Same thing with Cole. I think they prepared for 2026. That's the only thing that I could think of. Because if they did not, this looks terrible on Poles. And it kind of looks terrible on Ben because he co-signed this. So it's going to be a lot to be desired when it comes to Poles. But the only thing that I could think of is that Ben is like, he's going to tell us we could win this year, but he's really gunning for 2026 and making some huge changes on the offensive skill positions to where DJ's gone, Cole is gone. You have your two starting wide receivers right there. Hopefully you get some running back help with maybe Jeremiah Love or somebody else that might be popping up there. And maybe you could get younger. That's the only thing that I could think of. If that is not the case, Ryan Poles is extremely terrible at his job.
Catch I'm Not Gonna Hold You, hosted by Scott Lewis, every Monday and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, only on HNB Media and the Barbershop Network.